What's going on, everyone? So, kind of sticking with the trend of players on the Lakers that I think could have a big impact. Just did a video earlier today about D'Angelo Russell. Go check that video out if you haven't watched it after this video. One of the guys that I think could have a real impact and could be a big difference maker in this series is Gabe Vincent. Now, obviously, Gabe Vincent just came back. He's struggled mightily on the offensive side of the ball, except for the big playoff game in which Gabe Vincent has a history of showing up and playing big in big moments and in playoffs. And what did he do? He, again, in limited minutes, and let's put it in perspective, but actually hit two out of 4 threes and actually was making plays. He's been great defensively. Defensively, he's been very good, basically since he came back, right? So to me, Gabe Vincent, I think, can be a real X factor for the Lakers. One, he actually defended Jamal Murray well in the playoffs or in the NBA Finals. You're never going to stop Jamal Murray. It's just, can you make him work? Can you be a pest? Can you basically apply the pressure on Jamal and try to wear him down over a series? Again, it's not just going to be solely on Gabe Vincent, right? If Darvin Ham's smart, you're throwing bodies at him and making him wear down over the course of a series, right? You're throwing a Gabe Vincent. You're throwing a Cam Reddish. You're throwing a Max Christie. You're throwing a Taurean Prince, right? If Vando comes back at any point, throwing a Vando out there. All in just limited doses because Jamal is just one guy, right? But you have multiple pieces, multiple players that you could throw different sizes, different looks. I mean, even LeBron, you could throw on him in spots if you need to, right? So to me, you're hoping that this series doesn't go like last year's series goes, which I don't believe it will. I will be shocked if the Lakers get swept. Now, I'm not saying that lock it in, they're definitely winning the series. I believe that they can, but I think bare minimum, this is a 6-7 game series, right? I think that you can make the argument that the only way that the Lakers win this series is if it's in 6, right? You steal one of the home games, and then you win the 2 at home, or one of the road games, and then you win the 2 at home, and then you close out at home, right? Yes, but I really think if the Lakers win, it'll probably be 7. I would love for that formula to play out and it go that way, but Denver's they're good. And they're going to be very tough. And you're talking about like Denver basically falling apart essentially at that point, which, you never know, right? Again, all the games have been super close. You get a couple things to kind of fall your way. I mean, even last year, right? In the Western Conference Finals, if like LeBron makes that 3 in game 1, we win. Game 2, LeBron had the shot that just rattled in and out, like you win, right? There's just like these little things, key turnover, right? Like that Jokic miracle shot, right? Like the Jamal Murray miracle shot. Like there's things that like you look at, you go, man, if like one of those things don't happen, it's a completely different series, right? So I do think that this series will be different. And I also think that the Lakers just need that visual proof of like, okay, we can beat them. Right? To me, it's those first 2 games. But if the series does progress and it does go 7 games or even 6 games or whatever, right? Your goal is to just wear Jamal down. And I really think Gabe Vincent, I wouldn't even be shocked if towards the end of games, to close games, Gabe is in. Right? Let's say D'Lo is killing it. I would, hey, Reeves, sorry, buddy, and have Gabe in there just to try to slow him down, especially if Gabe's shot is falling. Obviously, if Gabe's shot and he's terrible and he just can't buy a bucket, then I don't know if you can get away with that. It kind of becomes the Jared Vanderbilt situation of last season where at least Jared Vanderbilt's bigger and can apply some rim pressure. But if Gabe Vincent is even just serviceable offensively, I think you may end up having to go that direction, right? You just kind of, who has, if let's say D'Lo doesn't have it this game, but Reeves does, okay, then it's Reeves and Gabe, right? To me, it's which guy between Reeves and D'Lo, it has been the best this game, whichever, unless they're just like both just killing it, then you kind of got to stick with them. You kind of live with it. But like, let's say, again, D'Lo's having a great game. He's hitting threes, hitting shots, making plays. He's being active hands and whatnot. And Reeves is just, say, not even that he's bad. Let's just say he's having like a solid game, but it's like, he's getting beat. Jamal's targeting him, right? We need to kind of get him out. go with Gabe Vincent. And my thinking is that, like, I think Gabe and his ability to defend, hit shots, not afraid of the moment, and play big, if he can find his offensive flow, right? It's starting to look, at least I hope, right? It's starting to look like it's coming around based on the Pelicans game. Still was a couple things, like he had that little like bunny in the lane that he just missed. Right, so I'm hoping he gets his timing down, gets his rhythm, and even throughout the course of the series, I'm hoping that kind of plays through, because I do think Gabe, the things that Gabe does are not going to show on the box score, right? Like, could Gabe have like some outlier 15-point game or 20-point game or something like that? Sure, right? He's done it. I mean, he did it with the Lakers in the preseason. I mean, I know it's preseason, but it's kind of all we have to go on, right, when it comes to Gabe Vincent. But to me, it's not so much about him dropping 30, right? Like, I don't really necessarily care about that. Just, give us some offensive production. I'm not saying like give us a bunch of goose eggs and just play defense. No, like, you have the open shot. I need you to hit that open shot. If you can penetrate and get into the lane and get a little floater or something going, right, or get to the basket and apply some rim pressure, then do that. Right? Those are the kind of things that I want to see the Lakers kind of get into the habits of, particularly Gabe Vincent. But, to me, it's more so of like, okay, his offense starts to flow, his offense starts coming around slightly, but even if he's given us 8 to 10, let's say, which isn't a ton, you're talking 3 shots, maybe a free throw, boom, right? It's more so of him diving for the loose balls, taking the charges, right? Playing the defense, creating turnovers, right? Those are like the dirty work, doing the grimy work that we need guys for. I mean, go back to even other championship years, right? Like a Trevor Ariza and Alex Caruso, like the guys that are willing, I'll sacrifice my body. I'll take the charge. I'll dive for the loose ball. I'll track the ball down and do what I got to do. I'll make the hustle play, right? Like, to me, he's one of the guys that I think can really have a major impact on this game in a multitude of ways that, if you're just box score watching, you might not even think Gabe Vincent's doing much. You might even think like, man, like Gabe's not even that good. But if you're actually watching the games, I think that's where you'll be like, no, like Gabe's been fantastic, right? Just because, again, you're never going to stop Jamal Murray, right? It's about the little things. Say he's averaging 30. Well, there's a difference between him averaging 30 on 50% shooting and him averaging 30 on 45% shooting. That 5% difference can be the difference between you winning and losing the series, right? Or, instead of him averaging 32 like he did last year against us, can he average 27? Again, that 5-point differential is the difference between us winning and losing every one of those games, right? Those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. And then as the series progresses, and Jamal being just one guy, having to look at, Gabe Vincent and him hounding and passing for 15 minutes a game. And then Spencer Dinwiddie, same thing. And, he's dealing with him for, 10 to 15 minutes a game. And then, get a little look at Cam Reddish, get a little look at Max Christie, get a little look at these, right? Vando comes back. All right, Vando, like, I need you to give me 10 minutes of lockdown. By game 5, 6, 7, you're hoping that Jamal is, maybe he is still giving you a 30 piece, but it's on 43% because his legs are tired. Or let's say it is 50%, but instead of him shooting a bunch of threes, he's shooting it, so he's taking more shots, right? So, instead of him doing it on 15 attempts, he's doing it on 20 attempts, right? Maybe he's shooting a better percentage, but it's like, he's shooting a better percentage, but he's not spreading the floor because his legs are tired, so he's not hitting threes as with the consistency, right? So it's causing him to have to take more shots, which is taken away from everyone else, right? So now, Michael Porter Jr. went from 20 a game to 15, right? Again, it's finding those margins in those pockets in order to overtake and win. That's where I think Gabe Vincent's going to come in. That's where I think Gabe Vincent is going to be big. And then contributing on the offensive side in little doses. I really do. I think Gabe Vincent's going to be a huge factor in this series. I do. I think because one of the things that I talked about when we got Gabe Vincent is I know a lot of people really wanted Schroeder, and a lot of people still are kind of like, we should have kept Schroeder. But for those that remember, what did I say, right? I like Gabe more because I believe he's more consistent and a better fit for this team, right? Schroeder, yes, he's a pest defensively. He's constantly going after it and whatnot. But he's so hot and cold, right? You don't know what Schroeder you're going to get. Like, Schroeder will go and give you a 20, and then the next, like, 3 games go, like, 2 of 11. And you're just like, dude, like, come on. Again, in the Denver series, he just completely disappeared. Where also he's not a good shooter. He doesn't play off the ball well, right? Like, he's best with the ball in his hands, being aggressive, being attack mode. He's not the playmaker. Gabe Vincent isn't really a great playmaker either, but he's better off ball. You can play him alongside other guys. I mean, Miami did it all the time with Kyle Lowry, right? You'd have Lowry and, Gabe as like your 1 and 2 in spots. So to me, it's like he's a guy that can initiate the offense, pass it off to LeBron, but still be a threat out there around the perimeter. Those are the factors. Those are the things that I think matter. And I just think you'll get more consistency. Yes, you might not get the 20-point game or whatever, but I would rather a guy game in and game out give me 10 a game like clockwork, and there's not really much variance, than a guy that gives me 21 game and 4 the next. Right? Like, it's just, at least I know what I'm getting from Gabe. I know what to expect from Gabe. And then him being a pest on the defensive side and hounding Jamal and stuff like that. Like, there's things to it, right? So I'm really pumped on Gabe Vincent. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think that, look, Gabe Vincent, he's going to be a big factor? Do you think, like, nah, he's just kind of be another guy? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So when you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.